Dr. Cora here. So today I'm going to be leading you through one of my favorite breathing exercises. This is a tool that I teach to almost all of my clients at some point while we're working together. I really like this breathing exercise because it's simple. It doesn't require a lot of extra tools or equipment. You don't have to be lying down. In fact, you can be almost anywhere and people won't know what you're doing. It's short. It only takes 3 minutes. And if you'll jot down the numbers that I ask you to pay attention to, you'll be able to see your progress over time. So let's get started. This is the 3-minute breathing exercise. In this first minute, I'm going to ask you to just pay attention to the number of breaths that you take. I don't want you to extend your breathing in any way or change it. Don't try to deepen it or hold your breath. I want to get a good feel for where you are right now. So we'll start for 1 minute. I'll tell you when to stop. Ready? Begin. And stop. Go ahead and take a second to write down that number, the number of breaths that you took in 1 minute. Now, depending on how anxious you're feeling, how stressed out you are, or what else might be going on, your breathing rate may change from day to day or even from hour to hour. That's normal. When we're feeling more anxious, our breathing rate tends to be a bit higher, somewhere above 15 to 20. If you find yourself there right now, that's great because you're doing this exercise to practice bringing that back down. The typical relaxed breathing rate for a college-age student is somewhere between 10 to 15 breaths per minute. If you currently find yourself in that range, that's excellent. Sounds like you're doing things right. And practicing bringing your breathing back down can help you in those situations where you might be feeling a little bit more anxious in the future. If you find yourself a little bit lower, 6 to 10 breaths per minute, that's great. That means you are likely practicing good breathing strategies or you are feeling particularly relaxed today. And for that, I'm grateful. This is still a great exercise to practice some strategies for bringing that breathing rate back down if you do start to feel anxious some point in the future. So for this next minute, I'm going to be leading you through breathing in for 5 seconds and breathing out for 5 seconds. If you do the math on that, it brings us down to 6 breaths per minute. That might not seem like many, but I promise you're going to make it through. If you do start to feel lightheaded or dizzy, please just breathe normally. But I haven't had that happen in all of the time I've been doing this exercise. So let's go ahead and get started. Everybody ready? Here we go. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. And stop. Take just a moment to pay attention to the way that your body feels after intentionally slowing your breathing rate down. With our final minute, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing as you did in the first minute, to just count your breaths. Now, it may be tempting to try to space them out or deepen them now that we've had that practice, but I encourage you to go back to what feels regular, normal, and just count the number that you take. All right, here we go. Start. And stop. Go ahead and write down that number again. I hope that you notice a difference between the first and the third minute of breathing, that you took fewer breaths the second time you kept track. If not, that's okay. Breathing, like any other skill, takes practice, and as I mentioned before, if you are recording those numbers, I think that you'll see the progress you're making over time. I encourage you to include this breathing exercise in your daily routine. 2 or 3 times a day doesn't take too long and can have some pretty significant effects. This is also a useful tool if you're starting to feel anxious in the moment, so maybe before a test or before a game or race. If you would like to learn more about some of the tools that I can teach you through Seahawk Mental Health and Performance, you can check out our information online or connect with me through the Counseling Center. Have a good one.